The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the speaker and don't necessarily represent those of the station, its staff, management, or ownership.
Early on a Sunday morning, thank you for tuning in to Clearview, Hudson Valley on your favorite local iHeart radio station. I'm Uncle Mike, and I'm joined this morning by two old friends and two heroes who have come here to talk about what's going on with the Purple Heart Hall of Honor Incorporated. It's the fundraising arm of the Purple Heart Hall of Honor. Let me welcome United States Marine Corps veteran, Vietnam veteran Richie Lay. Good morning, Richie.
Morning, sir. How are you?
United States Army veteran Russ Vernon. How are you, buddy?
Hey, I'm great, Uncle Mike. Great to see you.
You spent a lot of time at West Point, right? You were at West Point for a little while?
Yeah, I was a cadet. So back in 76 to 80, I spent four of the best years of my life.
And Richie, you spent several years in the service?
Yeah. I did my bit, and that was it.
And like most veterans that I talk to, and by the way, thank you both for your service.
Thank you.
Most veterans continue to serve after they get out of the military. For whatever reason, 99% of the veterans I run into continue to serve, and both of you have continued to serve with your passion for the Purple Heart, which is what we're here to talk about today. Let's get right to it. I don't know who wants to go first, but there's a lot going on in and around the Purple Heart Museum, which is now, and Rich, I can see Russ smiling, is now a national museum, which is very exciting. So Russ,
and we actually changed our name this year to the National Purple Heart Honor Mission. And it's important that we honor our Purple Heart heroes in numerous ways. So the Hall of Honor in New Windsor is a national treasure, and it allows all Purple Heart recipients to be enrolled and ensure that their stories are never forgotten. But we honor our Purple Heart heroes at the Honor Mission in numerous ways. Each year we have a Patriot mission where we select a great hero to represent each one of the 50 states. We're going to announce those awardees in November, and next April 26th to 30th, they will be here in the Hudson Valley spending time at the Hall of Honor at West Point, at Washington's headquarters, and in New York City. And this year's, we've already selected the awardees, and we have every single conflict represented going back to World War II. And we even have Operation Honor Democracy in Haiti represented with a Purple Heart that was awarded on that mission. So we're very, very excited. And finally, we can't be more thrilled. We're in the process of creating a national traveling education and tribute center, which will travel weekly to a different part of the nation and honor our Purple Heart heroes.
Wow. Kind of like the traveling wall with the Vietnam Wall. It's the same idea. You're going to get it out around the country so people understand what the Purple Heart is all about, what it means, because a lot of people don't know what it means, and educate everyone on some of the heroes, some of the stories, not only that have happened in the past, but you've got some real interesting stories that just happened to you recently where people have sent Purple Hearts to you not knowing what to do with them.
Well, we got 4 in the last month or so, and just this week we got a Purple Heart that a woman found in her attic that her father had kept over the years, but didn't know why he had it or what the story was. She sent it to me. Not only was it a Purple Heart, it was a silver star included. And I did the research. He was a 21-year-old that died in the war. He was an only child. There are no living relatives. So we will ensure that is proudly displayed as part of the Purple Heart Tribute Center, and we will never forget that young hero's service to nation, love of country.
And that happens quite a bit, Mike. We had somebody call us up, and they found a Purple Heart in the attic, and there was a number on the back of it. Sometimes they were engraved during World War II. Sometimes there were numbers. Well, the number coincided with the 39 recipients from the 1932 ceremony at the Purple Heart when it was reinstituted, and it was one of the Purple Hearts that was issued that day.
Wow! That
we managed to get back, and found out that the recipient, although he had passed away, he was World War I. Although he had passed away, he had still a living daughter, a grown daughter in a nursing home in upstate New York. So it's kind of like sends chills up and down your spine when you.
So, and you were telling me before we went on the air, there's hundreds of thousands of Purple Hearts that are still unaccounted for, right?
That's correct. About 1.8 million people have received the Purple Heart, And at the hall itself, we've got about a little bit over 200,000 registered. So we really want to get every Purple Heart recipient registered. It's important. You know, we're in an interesting time where there's a cancel culture. There's a drive to rewrite some history. And we're not a perfect country, but a lot of our imperfections, we need to understand them. We need to deal with them. But our soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines, they're the ones that allow us to burn the flag, protest. And I want everyone, the youth of this nation, the adults, to never forget that the freedoms we enjoy wouldn't have come about without our heroes.
That sacrifice that men and women were willing to do and have done in the past, that's part of our legacy. And like Russ just said, you couldn't do that in any other country, have that, I just want to rip down a statue without the sacrifices made by that greater generation, followed by Korea, Vietnam. We all did what we were asked to do by our country. It goes back to JFK, that famous thing.
Sure. And so anyone listening who doesn't know what the Purple Heart is, it's awarded to a soldier who was either injured or killed on foreign soil in combat, is what the Purple Heart. It was originally the badge of merit. That's how it started out. Washington created it because back then, just like now, the government had no way to really pay their soldiers anything extra. So this was a way of giving them a bonus, if you will, an award for being wounded or, unfortunately, either wounded or if you're killed in action, you receive the Purple Heart. If you're killed, obviously your family receives it.
Right.
But and then it went away for quite a while, and then, like you said, in 1932, it was resurrected. I think it was MacArthur, and it became the Purple Heart. Is what instead of the badge of merit, they renamed it the Purple Heart, and that's what it's been since then.
Right.
And as Russ said, there's 1.8 million, sadly, that have been awarded, which means there's over 1.8 million who have been injured or killed in battle. And that's the point of this traveling education center. And the stories that you told today, the reason we're telling those stories is if you find a medal in your attic, or if you hear somebody talking about it, you need to get a hold of Richie or Russ or someone at the Purple Heart Hall of Honor, because they can help you find out what that is about, where it's from, and get it properly registered to the person who it belongs to. And that's the goal, really, is to get them all registered, right?
That's correct. And purpleheartmission.org. Purpleheartmission.org is where you can reach out to. And one of the exciting things that's just happened is we've been working for a couple years on getting the National Purple Heart Commemorative Coin Act passed. Last December, it finally got through the House of Representatives, passed unanimously. Then it had to go to the U.S. Senate, where you need 67 senators to sign on. I'm proud to say as of last week, we got our 67th senator. So hopefully, prior to the election, this will pass through the Senate, get reconciled in the House, and in 2022, we will have a national minted Purple Heart coin minted at West Point.
Yes.
And you would think it's a no-brainer to get a Purple Heart coin through Congress. The issue is the Congress is only allowed to mint 2 coins a year. So you can imagine there's thousands and thousands of organizations that want their organization to be one of those 2 coins. And we're proud to say in 2022, one of those 2 is the National Purple Heart Commemorative Coin.
So once it's reconciled, obviously it goes to the president's desk, I guess. And,
yes.
And we know Trump is there. He's going to sign it.
And we're going to, I think that'll get signed, and we will have a beautiful ceremony, and the proceeds are going to be used to help with the Education and Tribute Center and future Patriot missions. You know, those Patriots that get selected get the trip of a lifetime, and it's all expenses paid. And Mike, you were there. You were part of it last year.
We broadcast live. I hope we broadcast live this year at some point. It was a really moving ceremony, and it was interesting to watch the 39 you had last year on stage, and they really understood what you were doing for them. They understood, and a lot of them, I'm sure, and we hear it with the honor flight all the time. Right. It's the first time they've been thanked since they came home, a lot of them.
Especially the Vietnam veterans.
And it's sad.
Right.
It really is sad, but it's good that it's happening finally. And it can happen as many times, every once a year, or many times you can do it. You're going to keep doing this more and more. And it's exciting that you're pretty sure this time you're going to have 50 this time, one from each state, which is really exciting.
Right.
And it is a trip because they're treated like rock stars the whole time they're on the trip. And it's what they deserve.
The interesting thing is a number of them went back home and just spread the word because the media picked up on it and they started to tell the story about the great times that they had, and that they became our ambassadors. Those members from the first missions became the ambassadors. Gee, we had a great time, and it was all. And everybody asked me the same thing. How come Purple Heart recipients aren't out there all the time telling their stories? There's a humility involved in it. There is, because for every Purple Heart story you'll tell, they have to go back and deal with the people that they left behind. And there is a philosophy of, for the grace of God, go I. Why was it me that survived and not?
And you talked at the beginning about even after they've done their service, they continue to serve. We received hundreds of nominations. And, it's hard saying one Purple Heart hero is more deserving than another because they're all deserving. But when you read the nominations and you see what these men and women have done since they served and what they continue to do for community, for country, it's just incredible to see. And you also see the ones that, in spite of incredible wounds and missing limbs, that they continue to love country, love their service, and are focused on helping others, even though in many cases they're the ones that need our help.
It's interesting, Russ, because so many of the stories of those who received the Purple Heart are stories of being wounded themselves, but because of the way a soldier is trained, they never leave anyone behind, and their training is to always look out for their fellow soldiers. The person in front of you, behind you, to the right or the left, has your life in their hands, and you have their life in your hands. And that's the mentality that you're trained for when you're in the military. But some of the stories, they're mortally wounded almost, but they keep going, trying to save and that's a lot of them. When you read the stories of why they were awarded the Purple Heart, that's why. Not only just because they were wounded, but what they did afterwards. It
comes down to teamwork. Yeah. And it's always the person to your left and right who you are constantly taking care of. And when they come back home, a number of the veterans that Russ just talked about, it's not just veterans organizations they're involved in. They're community organizations also, that they just have that feeling they want to better because when you go to another country, and this is the greatest country in the world, but when you go to some of these other countries, you see the level of poverty, you see what people are living in. That you come home with. You come home with that thought of improving the present place you're in right now. I get choked up trying to get that word out.
Every year we have a Purple Heart recipient that we award a Genesis Medal to. And this year we've selected Marine Corps Sergeant Joey Jones. And Joey, some people may be familiar. He appears on the news from time to time, supports veterans organizations all over the country. But he lost both of his legs. He was an ordnance specialist. And, saving his fellow Marines. One of these devices detonated, took off his legs, but he travels the country as a motivational speaker, and he's an inspiration to us all. And he represents the Iraq and Afghanistan generation, many of whom come home and just move on. And although they get thanked in ways the Vietnam veterans didn't, their service has been very, very difficult and tough in many cases to reconcile. So we do want to reach out to the Iraq and Afghanistan veterans.
I know I had guys from Iraq, a lot of guys I've talked to, says, we were bringing the enemy on base and training them, and we never knew if they were going to turn around and shoot us. Mm-hmm. And I had one guy explain to me, he says, you go walk around the streets of Poughkeepsie for 24 hours and pretend everybody wants to kill you. I do that for a year and then come home and go back 3 or 4 times and tell me that's not going to be hard to cope with. So, that's what the Iraqi, what you're talking about, that's what they went through, a lot of them, Iraqi and Afghanistan both. And now, that we have a lot of organizations that we work with trying to bring them all the way home because a lot of them, unfortunately, don't make it. We've still got too many soldiers taking their own lives because they can't cope.
It's something like 21 a day.
It's actually 28 a day. It's up to. They use the 22 is what they use, but that's from 2015. It's 28 a day now. It's going up, believe it or not.
I mean, it's just hard to fathom.
It's unacceptable. It's unacceptable that a soldier can't get the help he needs from the people he protected. It's unacceptable to me. I'm speaking with Richie Lay, a Marine Corps Vietnam veteran who is the chairman of the Purple Heart Hall of Honor, Inc., and Russ Vernon, who is the vice chairman.
I'm now the executive director of the
you took over
the Purple Heart Honor Mission.
And I'm speaking, and also with Russ Vernon, who is the U.S. Army veteran, who is the executive director of the Purple Heart
Honor Mission.
So we're going to take a real short break and have our weekly Hudson Valley Veterans Sit Rep Report, and we'll be right back. Joining me this morning is Anthony Kavaris, who's the program director of Vet to Vet, Alyssa Carrion, who is also part of the Vet to Vet program.
Good morning.
And also joining us this morning is Tyler Mendelson. Tyler is in charge of the Vet Tab program, which, Anthony, is what we're going to talk about this morning, right?
That is correct.
Tyler, why don't you just give, first of all, what does Vet Tab stand for?
So, it's a crazy long acronym. It stands for Veterans Employment Training and Transition Assistance Program.
And that's pretty self-explanatory, but why don't you give a little bit of background of what the program does for our veterans who are really trying to get all the way home?
Sure. The program itself is funded by a grant through the Department of Labor's Homeless Veterans Reintegration Program. And through that, we're able to basically meet with homeless veterans and those struggling about to become homeless and make them more employable through various means, such as we build resumes for them, make their resumes that they already have stronger. We can give them certifications and licenses, which we can also help pay for. And we help do job searches, and if a veteran has any kind of interest in doing any kind of career course or anything like that, we can help provide that.
Tyler, so let's say I come in off the street and I'm looking for help, and Alyssa and Anthony have other services that they're going to help with. But when they get to a point where they come to you, I mean, you're really, it's pretty self-explanatory. You're trying to get them to be employable is what you're trying to do.
Right. And a lot of times veterans just don't have that push to really do the things they have to do to get a job. I mean, in today's world, it's pretty difficult to find a job when, you have all these other problems going on between mental health. You might be going through addictions or just, everything going on with the pandemic. It's been very difficult, people losing jobs like crazy. So, to have myself and my coworker, Devin, working with the veterans the entire process, it makes things a lot easier for them. And, we really try to get them on the right path.
Tyler, do you have a connection with a lot of the employers in the area? I mean, so you're aware when there are jobs available?
Yeah, so we do have some good connections with a number of employers. We're always trying to make that number grow. If there are any employers out there who would like to get in touch with us, please definitely do. It's definitely a great connection to have with, the many employers we do, just to be able to reach out to them and say, look, we have this veteran. We think he'd make a great fit. We try to make it a mutually beneficial partnership.
So, Tyler, if there are employers out there who want to be part of this program, how do they get in touch with you?
So you can call our phone. It's 845-473-2500, and our extension is 1346.
And for all the employers out there, your veterans are going to be your best candidates for employment usually. I know we've found that, and most employers will tell you that veterans have a whole different skill set. No matter where they are on their recovery, they have that skill set they bring with them from being in the services and being trained as a soldier. So you're going to be some of your best candidates, and you need to get a hold of Tyler and become part of this program. As we move forward here, jobs are going to become harder and harder to fill. Many veterans looking for work, so we'd love to have you be part of this. Anthony?
Yeah, so I just want to also mention that we do have a partnership with the Dutchess County Chamber of Commerce.
Dutchess County Regional Chamber
of Commerce. And it's called Hire a Vet. So if any of the people associated with the Dutchess County Chamber of Commerce, they can call them. They basically send us job postings about 72 hours before they post it anywhere else. It's a good program. We have had some of our veterans find employment through that. So that's another way that they can connect with the veterans and get them hired.
Tyler, not only employers, how else can people help?
Well, if anybody has any leads at all for employment that they think would make a good fit for veterans, or if they know of employers who do like to hire veterans, just, giving me any kind of wind about that would be extremely helpful.
How about volunteers? Can people, if you've got maybe educators out there or counselors, in colleges that are maybe placement counselors even, who want to volunteer their time to help you with that program, are you open to something like that? Can they get in touch with you?
Absolutely. I would say the best method that they would be able to help us personally with the employment program is when we do our stand-down events twice a year. There's probably going to be another one coming up in December. Granted, we're able to do it with the whole COVID going on. When we do these big stand-down events, we're going to try to have, a lot of people on hand. Yeah, we would love volunteers.
All right, Tyler, give your phone number one more time.
So it's 845-473-2500, and our extension is 1346.
And that's for the MHA Duchess Vet to Vet program. That's the Vet Tap program, which is part of that, where they're trying to get our veterans reemployed, reintegrated back into society, which is what it's all about. Tyler, thanks so much for spending time with us this morning, and I'm sure we'll talk to you in the future and see how things are going, all right?
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
A lot of those skills work really great in the military. When you get out, some of them don't transfer over a grade on a resume.
Yeah.
So these guys and women can work. They can do all sorts of hands-on stuff. They learn quickly, but the skills just aren't on paper where they need to be.
Right. Like one of the things that Tyler didn't mention yet, but we are going to host a security guard class so that they can get that certification, which, those are pretty good jobs.
Well, and the thing that we have to keep hammering home is, even though some of the skill sets may not transfer, the basic mentality you have as a soldier, what you're trained as, for employers listening, they will show up on time and they will do the job that you ask them to do. Soldier is, you point them in the right direction and it's going to get done. So that's the beauty of hiring a veteran.
Well, in the military, you're trained to follow and you're trained to lead, right? Mm-hmm. So you have leadership skills, but you also learn how to, follow as well. So
stay in your lane, right?
Stay in your lane.
That's it. All right. Well, that's our Hudson Valley Veterans Sit Rep Report for this week. We're going to be on every week on Clearview Hudson Valley, and we'll be updating you with things going on in the veteran community, ways you can help, ways you can get involved, and ways that you can help support our heroes as they try to come all the way home. Welcome back to Clearview Hudson Valley. I'm here with Richie Lay and Russ Vernon, who are from the Purple Heart Honor Mission. Russ, what's the website again that they can go to?
It's Honor Mission, purpleheartmission.org, purpleheartmission.org.
So anything you feel like you may have missed here, if you go on that website, everything we've been talking about is on that website. I'm sure there's information.
Absolutely. And you can sign up for our monthly emails where we honor a couple of Purple Heart recipients with a story of valor. And then you can see all the stories of valor on our website. And hopefully you'll enjoy it and help support all the activities we do on behalf of these Purple Heart heroes.
And anyone who's been by the hall over in Vales Gate has seen the massive construction that went on there. It is beautiful. Russ has told me that it's going to be a magnificent hall when it's finished. It is a national museum now, and that's going to be open fairly soon. They're coming to an end of the construction. Somewhere near the end of the year here, you're going to have a grand opening. And when they have a grand opening, we'll make an announcement when that is.
That would be great. And hopefully it's around Veterans Day. And it's going to be spectacular, and it's going to honor these Purple Heart recipients magnificently.
So we talked about the Patriot Project, which I am really excited to hear, is the 26th through the 30th of April. You're going to have 50 recipients from around the country representing each state. They're going to have 4 days of being treated like a rock star, which is what they deserve. And there will be some opportunities for the public to be part of that, right?
Yes.
Yes, we're going to expand it this year. Good.
We have a community rally every year, and we hope several thousand people will be able to help us honor these heroes with the welcome.
You're going to be there again, Uncle Mike?
Absolutely.
There you go. You did it live last year.
Yeah, we did it live. Great. We'll do it live this year if we have the opportunity. I'd love to.
Yeah, and like all organizations, with COVID, fundraising has been very, very difficult this year. And once again, these heroes don't pay a penny for their plane fare, their hotel stay, the different venues we go to. So we could use your support. Once again, purpleheartmission.org. And one of the things we're doing on Veterans Day is Purple Hearts for Push-Ups. We have Marine veteran T. Shane Johnson, who every year picks one organization nationwide to support. This year, he's chosen the Honor Mission, and he is going to try to break the record of push-ups in 12 hours, which is 19,355. 19,355. How he's going to do that, I don't know. That's a good year. And in 12 hours, he's going to attempt to break that record.
There's people haven't done that many in their lifetime, me included. So,
we were trying to get Russ to challenge him, but those days are gone.
So when is that? That's on Veterans Day.
That's on Veterans Day. It's 12 hours, and we hope this is kind of our ice bucket challenge. We hope people across the country will do push-ups, challenge their friends, and donate to Purple Heart Honor Mission.
And we're going to try to figure out a way to get that streamed. I'm going to work on that after we get done here and get that streamed so we can watch the whole thing online while it happens.
That'd be awesome.
Excellent.
Who's going to count? You're going to have to count?
So what's interesting is the Guinness book has pretty stringent rules.
Yeah, they do.
So we need a minimum of 4 people to count. You can only count for a certain amount of minutes. Then you got to move on to the next guy, and you got to get credentialed. It's a pretty interesting process, but we want to make sure that when T. Shane breaks it, with the work involved, that it's a good record.
Sure. So, Richie, you and I would not be allowed there because we've about 10 minutes. Wait a minute. Could you start again? I lost my count.
Well, I was telling someone when
we talked about the coin act, which is exciting. You're going to have a coin next year.
2022.
2022. I'm sorry. And do you have any sponsors you want to recognize for what they're doing? Or
Absolutely. So ShopRite Supermarkets
is unbelievable.
Amazing. Yeah. And we really are thankful to them. Lending Tree has become a corporate sponsor, and they're sponsoring the push-up for Purple Hearts. The Kaplan Foundation has stepped up in a big way, and we appreciate everything they've done for us, not only this year, but over the course of our existence.
Dyson.
And the McCann Foundation has helped us in a huge way. So we really appreciate the McCann Foundation, Kaplan Foundation, ShopRite Supermarkets,
and Lending Tree.
Russ
and Richie, unfortunately, it's the fastest 30 minutes in radio, and we've already run out of time, but it's okay because I'm going to have you guys back. We'll do another one of these real soon. Maybe once we get a little closer to Veterans Day, we'll have you back and talk about what's coming up on Veterans Day. By then, you'll have an idea when the hall is going to be open.
PurpleHeartMission.org.
Okay.
And we are the Purple Heart Honor Mission. So online, you can search Purple Heart Honor Mission, but you can get to us directly, PurpleHeartMission.org.
And all the things that are going on and all the things they have planned, I could have guessed those 4 sponsors. I knew before you told me who they were that they were going to be there because they're always there. They're phenomenal.
But there's another group that we have to mention, and that's the radio station and you, Uncle Mike, because whenever we asked you to do anything, you were there. You did live from the site, but with you, it's not a one-shot deal. It's a continuous storytelling. So you've been very supportive of the veterans, and you got to take credit where credit's due.
My father was a World War II Bronze Star recipient. My oldest brother, who's no longer with us, was a Vietnam veteran. He died a few years ago from what he was exposed to in Vietnam. They won't admit it, but that's what it was.
Right.
I never had the honor of serving, but I was in a military family, and I knew from a very young age that the reason I had my freedoms is because guys like you were willing to risk their lives for it. And I appreciate that, and I won't ever forget it. And that's why I do what I do. And until my last days, I'm going to do everything I can to thank, respect, and support our veterans and our military.
Thank you.
And it's that simple. And I do it because I want to do it, not because I have to. So.
And we appreciate that and can't thank you
enough. I'm looking forward to a lot of exciting events coming up here. And you guys will be back real soon, all right? Thanks for coming up and spending some time with us this morning. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Clearview Hudson Valley. And I want to remind you that all the episodes are available on the Clearview Hudson Valley podcast, available at iHeartRadio.com. I'm Uncle Mike, and if I don't see you out and about, I'll catch you on the radio. Have a great week, everyone.